afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? No. Terrific. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Save the Bay's 52nd annual meeting, and we're officially calling the meeting to order. I've always wanted to do that. Welcome to the Bay Center. We're excited to actually be holding this meeting in person, and we've been missed it for the last 2 years, and it's just wonderful to see everybody coming out here and joining us this afternoon. We're celebrating. We're having the annual meeting now, and then after this, we'll be celebrating the Taste of the Bay. So we'll try to keep the speaking down so we can get to the Taste of the Bay as fast as possible here. For 52 years, Save the Bay's mission has been to improve and protect Narragansett Bay. A pretty simple statement, but we really focus in on that, and that's what Save the Bay does. We've been focused on that, determined to do it, but really, the only way we can do it is with help from members like you. That's what really makes this organization happen. Without that, we couldn't do the work that we do. And you're going to hear more about that work in a few minutes from our executive director. So I won't go into any of that. But first, what we need to do is we need to recognize, I said, you, the members, but also the sponsors of this event. In particular, our lead sponsor, which is FL Putnam Investment Management, and then also our other supporting sponsors, who are National Grid, UNFI Wholesale Food Distributors, Citizens Bank, and Arabella Insurance. And if you go to our website, you can really see the full list of the wide range of companies that are sponsoring our work and our events like this. And we appreciate from all of them. Moving on, I'm now pleased to introduce Save the Bay's treasurer, Bud Cummings, to deliver the treasurer's report. So, Bud?
Thank you, Gib. I'm pleased to report that Save the Bay ended its 2021 fiscal year in solid financial shape, despite the impact of COVID on both the business entity and the people who work here. As was the case with every business, the pandemic presented challenges to every facet of the organization that required new and innovative responses to overcome. As I stated a year ago in our virtual annual meeting, the board strongly believed that the management team was prepared to guide the organization through these unprecedented times, and it has done so. Management took advantage of programs that allowed us to maintain our full staff, which rose to the multiple challenges, both personal and professional, presented by COVID. Several years ago, the board identified the staff, all 32 of them, as being Save the Bay's most important asset. And these past months have only reinforced how accurate that determination was. It continued to make us all look good. Now onto the numbers, starting with the balance sheet. During fiscal 21, our cash balances increased by over 25%, ending the year at $2.3 million. Like most, our investments benefited from a strong market and ongoing 50th anniversary campaign contributions, rising 34% to $2.8 million. Don't we already long for those days? One goal of the 50th anniversary campaign was to pay off our long-term debt, and I'm happy to report that we were able to do so, leaving us with none. That allowed us to redirect those monthly payments towards programs and projects in fulfillment of our mission. Moving to the income statement, where you can really see the impact COVID had. Contributions, gifts, and non-government grants were down 16% to $1.9 million, though unrestricted contributions from our loyal supporters were actually up slightly to $1,250,000. Government grants that are cyclical in nature, with this being an obvious off year, were down by almost a third. Our largest event is the annual Swim Across the Bay, and as if dealing with COVID wasn't enough, Mother Nature conspired against us by forcing cancellation due to heavy fog that day. The primary impact from COVID came in program revenue, which includes our renowned education offerings that serve schools in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. With no in-person activities allowed, we saw an 87% drop in revenue to $52,000 for the year. I'm happy to report that this did not stop our education team, which immediately convened, generated, and talked through numerous ideas about how to continue its mission. This resulted in the creation of virtual programming that received great acclaim from teachers and students throughout the footprint. Though this didn't generate revenue to Save the Bay, it did generate great pride, even from the crusty finance side of the house. At least the board side, not the employee side. So the end result saw revenues down 29% for the year to $2.6 million. So what does the seasoned management team do when revenue is down and the challenges of protecting and improving Narragansett Bay have not abated? It protects the critical assets of the entity while continuing to initiate meaningful and necessary actions in support of our programs while surgically reducing spending wherever possible. Goal number one was to support our staff as they dealt with COVID both at work and at home. Mission accomplished as we were able to retain just about everyone while providing a safe work environment for all. Goal number two was to, wherever possible, fulfill the many grants we had been awarded to improve or restore the Bay. And as highlighted in our annual report, we continue to do just that. Goal number three was to reduce spending wherever possible, but to do so with the least possible impact to our mission. As a result, advocacy spending was down by almost 19%, education by just over 26%, communications by almost 30%, and fundraising by 18%. This resulted in total expenses being reduced by $751,000, or just over 18% for the year. Coupled with investment gains of $593,000 versus $125,000 a year ago, our financial position going into the new year was solid, and we were well positioned to resume business as usual. So we entered the new fiscal year with the hope that the worst was behind us. We had weathered the storm, and there was a renewed optimism that 2022 would allow us to resume business as usual. I look forward to this time next year, being able to report more normal operating results and not having to use the word COVID. The response by the entire staff only served to reinforce the board's belief that though they don't appear on the balance sheet or the income statement, they are truly our most important and valued asset. And we, like many of you, cannot wait to see what great work they produce next. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud, and I'm sure just about everybody agrees with you that we do not want to hear the word COVID much more. Next on our agenda this evening is I'd like to introduce Robin Boss, who is the chair of our Nominating and Governance Committee, and to present the slate of board members. Robin?
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. I get the very, very dry part of tonight's program, but I'm pleased to present the following slate of board members for a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2022. And I would ask each person to stand when their name is announced and remain standing for the vote if you are here. Bud Cummings, Kathy Lanfear, Tim Palmer, Ben Singer, Harry Potter, and Ed Wing. Are there any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I would like a motion from the floor to accept the slate for 2022.
So moved.
May I have a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The slate is approved. Thank you. challenging and outgoing board member who can't be with us here tonight. But that board member is Steve Jeremiah. Steve joined the Finance Committee back in 2008, and he joined the board in 2012. And during that tenure, Steve has served as our treasurer, has been a member of the Finance, Executive, Investment, and Compensation and Benefits committees, and he has helped to establish Save the Bay's strong financial standing well into the future. We thank Steve for his wise counsel and his leadership, and we will get to say some words about him at our final board meeting. Lastly, I really want to thank all of our board, committee, President's Leadership Council members and our trustees for their ongoing service, their commitment, and support of Save the Bay, our mission, and all that we do. So thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Next, we're going to be moving on to our awards for 2022. But before we do that, because we really didn't have a meeting like this last year, I think we want to take a moment and acknowledge the 2021 winners of the award. And so I would ask when the names are announced, if you're here in the room, please stand. The first award was the Allison J. Walsh Award for Outstanding Environmental Achievement, and that went to Maria Mack. The next award, the Environmental Achievement Award, was Bill Napolitano. I don't know if Bill is here. Okay. The Bay Students of the Year were all of the students at Meadowbrook Elementary School. And the Bay Educator of the Year, we had a pretty big crowd here. All the Rhode Island teachers. A very, very difficult school year. And the last award that we had was Volunteers of the Year Award. And that went to two brothers, Gaurav and Amal Rathel. So, now going on to the 2022 awards. What we're going to ask is when people come up and accept their awards, if they would, we're not going to take pictures at that time. What we would like to do is have you stick around after the meeting, and we will be taking photographs immediately after the meeting. So, to start the process here, I'm pleased to introduce July Lewis, who's our volunteer and intern manager, to present Volunteer of the Year Award. July?
Hi everybody, it's great to see you tonight. I'm wondering if anybody here has ever done a beach cleanup. Anybody? Get your hands up there. All right, you guys, good for you. You guys did something positive for our bay, something hands-on. Now we have thousands of volunteers participate in beach cleanups with Save the Bay every year, and the only reason that that's possible, that we can have such a big program, is because we have volunteers who are willing to step up and lead. John Paul, our Volunteer of the Year, is one of our core beach captain volunteers. He's a member of Conimicut Village Association and is a key part of our partnership with that group to keep Conimicut Point Park clean. Now, all of our beach captains are highly valued, but John really does stand out. He has led over 50 Save the Bay cleanups since 2017. His dedicated stewardship of Conimicut Point is inspiring, and his willingness to pitch in and lead at other sites where we need him most is deeply appreciated. He's terrific to work with because he is reliable, communicative, and he is just a great organizer and leader who is really fun to work with. His passion for community service has inspired well over 1,000 volunteers who have cleaned up the shore under his guidance. And not only that, John has mentored high school students, college students, and community members of all kinds in becoming cleanup leaders themselves, all working towards a cleaner and healthier bay. John Paul's volunteer leadership makes him especially deserving of our appreciation and recognition. So John, it is my pleasure to present to you the Save the Bay Volunteer of the Year Award.
Okay, next up are the Education Awards, and please welcome Jen Kelly, our Public Program Manager, who will be standing in for Bridget Prescott, our Director of Education.
I'm excited and honored to present these next 2 awards to individuals who embody Save the Bay's educational vision of inspiring the next generation of Bay stewards. This year's Bay Educator of the Year is the inspiration, and the Bay Student of the Year is the result of that inspiration. Melissa Turner has been a champion for Save the Bay's education program for close to 2 decades. Melissa is a science teacher for 5th graders at Thompson Middle School in Newport. She is always looking for opportunities to engage her students in learning about Narragansett Bay. It is because of dedicated teachers like Melissa, who are dedicated to our youth, that continually inspire us in our work in inspiring our next generation of Bay stewards. Melissa couldn't be here tonight, but please join me. Oh, you are here. Please join me in congratulating this year's Bay Educator of the Year, Melissa Turner from Thompson Middle School in Newport.
Thank you, everyone.
Our next award goes to a young man who is known by all of our educators due to his love and dedication to marine science in Narragansett Bay. Leandro Luna Visano is a middle school student from Roger Williams Middle School here in Providence. Leandro has been a familiar face in our after-school programming this year. For those of you who might not realize, students can self-select into their after-school programs each session. Leandro chose our after-school program all year long. He was always excited and curious about what we were going to do in our next class, and as time went on, he became a role model and peer educator for the newer students into the program. We have all enjoyed getting to know Leandro this year. We hope his love of Narragansett Bay continues, and that he continues to be part of our programming. Please join me in congratulating our Bay Student of the Year, Leandro Luna Visano from Roger Williams Middle School in Providence.
Okay, now I would like to introduce Topher Hamlet, who is our Director of Advocacy and who will be presenting the Allison Walsh Award for Outstanding Environmental Advocacy and also our Environmental Achievement Award. Topher.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for coming here tonight. I'm first going to do the award for the Allison J. Walsh Outstanding Environmental Achievement. Allison was a legendary Save the Bay Director of Advocacy who is famous for her drive and tenacity and initiative and vision. And to honor her memory and work and to celebrate individuals who go way above and beyond the call, her husband, Bill Agan, had established this award in Allison's honor. This year's award winner, Barry Schiller, has been a champion for Rhode Island's environment and quality of life for over 50 years. He embodies Allison's tenacious advocacy. And as an active member of many organizations and through his own personal initiative, Barry's been a leading advocate for mass transit, bikeways, and by extension, social equity. His early advocacy for the East Bay Bike Path and Rhode Island's vast network and growing network of bikeways has connected Rhode Islanders from all communities with the coastal shorelines and riverbanks of the Narragansett Bay watershed and to each other. As a vocal supporter of mass transit, Barry's been a vital player in reducing polluted runoff from streets and parking lots and ensuring that all Rhode Islanders have a way of reaching and enjoying Rhode Island's spectacular beaches and coastal parks. He's volunteered his time and energy to the State Transportation Advisory Board, the RIPTA Board of Directors, and the Environment Council of Rhode Island. Like Allison Walsh, Barry was instrumental in the startup of effective, lasting community organizations, most notably the Rhode Island Bicycle Coalition and the Rhode Island Transit Riders. And like Allison, Barry can be seen at any city or town council meeting, rally, state house hearing, or any other gathering for the public good. I see him at the State House, in fact, I saw you recently, and I know that he called the Senate President a couple of days ago to urge passage of a bill. He doesn't stop. So it's with great admiration and gratitude for his many accomplishments that Save the Bay honors Barry Schiller with the Allison J. Walsh Achievement Award.
I'm also an academic, so that means I like to talk. Won't be for 50 minutes though, like I'm used to. But I did want to say I really appreciate the award, partly because I was privileged to know so many and work with so many great staffers at Save the Bay, going back to Trudy and Kurt, of course, and Allison. So it means a lot to do that. I also think of Save the Bay every time I see the banner on Go Local that the Bay is cleaner now than it's been in 150 years. What a terrific thing. Thank you, Save the Bay. And I also appreciate that you guys have this broad view about what it means to save the Bay. It means environmental education. And I worked at Rhode Island College. I probably trained some of those teachers you gave the award to. So I'm really pleased at that. And it means caring about the runoff from all the pavement. And it means access to the shore for all of us, including at this beautiful place. So thank you, Save the Bay, for all that, and thank you for the award.
Thank you, Barry. And now on to the 2022 Environmental Achievement Award. When it comes to water quality, creating public rights-of-way to the shore, and adapting to the impacts and the threats of climate change, the cities and towns of Narragansett Bay are on the front lines, and the municipal officials that work there are challenged to make the most of very limited resources amid competing demands. So going all the way back to the 1990s, the town of Warren has more than met that challenge. Through its own initiative and in partnership with Save the Bay, the Warren Land Conservation Trust, and many other entities, the town has an impressive list of accomplishments. I think Wendy and I both agree that we could write a book about what Warren has done. So I'll give you just some of the highlights. The town has completed innovative stormwater projects, including the installation of green infrastructure and training town staff on green infrastructure maintenance. Assisted Save the Bay and the Warren Land Conservation Trust with our Jacobs Point Salt Marsh restoration projects along the East Bay Bike Path. Designed its wastewater treatment plant upgrades to withstand 3 feet of sea level rise plus storm surge. Collaborated with us to secure low-lying lands along the Palmer River so that salt marshes can migrate upland and inland to keep pace with rising waters. The town has championed the Bristol County Water Authority's Kickamuit River Restoration Project by supporting legislation, financing, and public engagement. It's testified at the State House for passage of the Oscar Fund for Climate Adaptation Projects. It's created the most visionary, ambitious municipal plan for coastal climate adaptation in the state, with its Market to Metacom initiative, which calls for the relocation of homes and businesses from a flood-prone area of town to a higher elevation area that needs redevelopment. And they are also among the pioneering communities to be an early adapter of single-use plastic bag ban ordinances. So this and much, much more. So to the town of Warren, you have more than earned the 2022 Save the Bay Environmental Achievement Award, And I would like to invite up Town Manager Kate Michaud and Director of Planning and Community Development Bob Ruley to accept this award on the town's behalf.
I'll be very brief, but I just want to say thank you on behalf of the town of Warren. We value greatly our partnership with Save the Bay, and many of the projects that Topher mentioned bear the fingerprints of different members of the Save the Bay family, so we're very thankful for that assistance. Small communities like ours struggle in the face of climate change. As a community with an average elevation of 7 feet, we have a lot of work to do. So we're very thankful for this recognition, and we're very thankful for the continued support.
Okay, I think that concludes our awards presentation. We want to say congratulations again to all of our award winners. Next, what I'm going to do is turn the podium over to our Executive Director, Jonathan Stone, and a few remarks about the work that we've done and the work that we're looking to do.
Thanks, Gib. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Go Celtics. Leandro, I see your hand. If there are any Golden State fans, you can remove yourself from the back of the room. Well, I should be careful what I say. Welcome, everybody. It's great to have such a tremendous turnout. And as I was discussing with one of our board members tonight, it's been 3 years since we had an in-person annual meeting, and it's great to be back at the Bay Center with all of you. I wanted to do 2 things briefly in my remarks. One is reflect on what we've persevered through and what we've accomplished briefly in the last year and a half, 2 years, and then look forward to what we have in store coming ahead for Save the Bay. The last couple of years, as I know Gib and Bud described for you, have been incredibly challenging for this organization. And our first objective, when the pandemic arrived on our doorstep, as it did for all of you, was to accomplish 2 things. The first was to keep the team together. We have an incredible team of people here at Save the Bay who give their heart and soul to this organization and to the mission of the organization. And we have employees who've been here at the time of the pandemic who had been here 6 months, and we have employees who've been here 25 years. And our goal was to keep this team together, and I can happily report that we've succeeded in that objective. So I want to offer a round of applause for the Save the Bay staff, and if a member of the staff are in the room, could you please stand and be recognized? The second thing we really wanted, that we committed ourselves to coming into the pandemic, was to carry on the work of the organization and do everything we could to not miss a beat. Now, as Bud and Gib have alluded to, we did have to do a little dancing, and we did have to adapt and pivot. That's kind of an overused word, but everyone in this room had to do the same thing in your own special way. So we did the same thing here at Save the Bay. I didn't realize until the pandemic arrived that we have an extraordinary education team, but they're also social media stars. We created, I should say, the ed team, with the generous support from our communications team, created an educational program called Breakfast by the Bay that was so cool it went viral. It was like a huge thing. We had something like 50,000 participants or viewers of our Breakfast by the Bay program from all parts of the country, not just Rhode Island, but New York, Pennsylvania, all over the place, as parents were looking for content educational content that they could share with their children when they were all locked down in their homes, in apartments. So it was just an incredible moment for the Ed team, and I'm just incredibly proud of what the Ed team was able to accomplish without boats and without buildings and without actual kids in the room. So that was pretty cool. The second thing is that our advocacy team and our habitat restoration team just never missed a beat. We were virtually at the State House as soon as the State House opened, working on public policy issues. Our riverkeeper, baykeeper, and coastkeeper were out in the field doing water quality testing, doing habitat restoration projects, and never missed a beat. Our operations team, which includes Julia Lewis and our facilities team, also took advantage of the empty building. This building and our parking lot was empty for the better part of 2 years, and caught up on a whole series of projects. We must have done 12 different projects that we had been waiting to do, and we had sort of a goal and opportunity to do them. Really exciting things, like put in a new HVAC system. It was really thrilling. We had incredible discussions at the board about what kind and how big and where you put it. And the facilities team did a great job. Our volunteer program kept chugging along. July was just tremendous at finding ways we could bring people together, harness their enthusiasm for helping us clean up the bay. Between beach cleanups and storm drain marking and other activities, we kept the program alive and healthy and going. So we did a lot in terms of furthering the mission of the organization, and that was our second primary goal. Along the way, we completed a few other minor things. We completed a 8-year, or let's call it a 7-year fundraising campaign in honor of our 50th anniversary. That was a major ordeal, a major effort, and we completed it successfully. We celebrated that 50th anniversary event and campaign last fall. We also decided, the board decided, to do a deep, year-long dive into strategic planning to create our forward-looking vision for the next 5 years, our 2027 strategic plan. And that involved organizing a series of focus groups. I think we did, what did we do, Maureen? 9 or 10 or 11 focus groups that we did mostly via Zoom, virtually. It including surveys of members, surveys of donors and funders. And the net result is actually this, which can be found on our website. It's the Save the Bay 2027 Strategic Plan. It's available for all of you to look at and review, and we are officially unveiling it today. Unofficially, it's been on the website for a few weeks, but you were the first to really hear about it in full force. And we are very excited about it because it sets forward our primary objectives over the next 5 to 7 years. Let's call it 5 years. And I guess I would summarize it by saying there are 3 main things we want to accomplish in this plan. The first is to deepen our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and environmental justice. We are committed to this cause. It is absolutely paramount importance for us to fulfill our mission to protect and improve Narragansett Bay. That's the first pillar of this strategic plan. The second pillar is to expand the reach of our education program. You'll hear more about that in a minute, but we are well on the way to accomplishing that. The Breakfast by the Bay series that our Ed team developed anticipated our desire to expand and enrich the education program, but we are very committed to really broadening and expanding our education footprint around Rhode Island and Massachusetts and beyond. And then the third pillar of the program of the strategic plan is to really sharpen our focus on our environmental advocacy and habitat restoration work, to really bring a tangible set of impacts to the work that we do. We take great pride in actually getting things done. We are deeply committed not just to talk, but to actually doing things, getting things accomplished. This strategic plan lays out a set of specific objectives that are measurable and accountable that will allow us to further that goal of our advocacy and habitat restoration work. And last but not least, our board has committed to add resources to the organization in the form of staff, which is our critical resource, to further the strategic plan. So I'd encourage you, if you have a chance, to go to the website. You'll find it under About Save the Bay and Documents. You'll find the strategic plan there. I guess the last thing I wanted to say in my remarks is that we have something very exciting to report, and that is that one element of our strategy to expand the education program is to build a brand new aquarium in Newport. To move our existing what I like to think of as our cute sand between the toes experience at Easton's Beach to a new space in an old building, somewhat unattractive building, but we're going to make it a lot more attractive, known as the Gateway Transportation Center, also known as the bus station. And soon to be known as the aquarium where you get the bus. What we don't want to be is a bus station with an aquarium in it. We're going to be an aquarium where you get the bus. And I would just say that we're very excited about this for so many reasons. We've always wanted to have a permanent footprint in Newport. We have always been there. Our staff has been there. Our team has been there. Our programs have been there. Our education programs and the like. But to have a physical presence is really exciting for us. And from an educational program point of view, it's going to give us many opportunities to reach more students, to engage the community, to provide job training opportunities, volunteer programs, internships, and the like at the aquarium. So we are, as they say in Boston, wicked psyched about the aquarium. So the one thing I would say to you on the aquarium is in the boardroom, which is the conference room across the lobby here, we have some posters that have some pictures of certain aspects of the aquarium. I did quiz our chief aquarist, Adam Komarski, who's the wild man of Easton's Beach, about how many critters we're going to have at the new building. And he said, we'll have more than 200 animals, more than 50 species, and more than 12,000 gallons of water, which is a lot of water. Anyway, we are very excited about the aquarium. And the most important thing you should note is that a year from now, hopefully just slightly less than a year from now, Memorial Day weekend, it is our goal to open the aquarium to the general public Memorial Day weekend next year. So make note, you'll hear more about it from us as that date approaches, but we are really excited about that effort in our effort to expand and enrich the education program, Save the Bay. So I guess with that, I stand between you and drinks and clams and cohogs and what have you. So I just want to thank you all again for being here and to say, to echo something Gibb said at the outset, we cannot do what we do without your support. We have a room full of volunteers. I see so many members of our board. All of you are members or participants in one way or another in our work, and I thank you for being part of this great effort to protect and improve Narragansett Bay. So, Gibb, do you want to come up and close out the meeting? I think you need to swing the gavel, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
I would just with apologies to Maureen, because Maureen sort of wrote the script here, we're going to go a little bit off script. And what I'd like to do is
Thanks, I just wanted to come up, sorry, I'm like the teacher who says recess is a little bit old, but I didn't know it was okay to talk before, and I just wanted to really thank the Save the Bay team of educators. They are amazing. I don't know if that was what their training is in education, but as a teacher, working alongside of them, I've learned so much from them, and the opportunities that Save the Bay have given to my middle school students in Newport are incredible. People think of Newport as being very affluent and having lots of money, and there are a few people in that circumstance, but our general population is not at all like that. And I tell my students every time we do something to Save the Bay that without their support and the generosity of the donors, we would not be able to do the things that we do with Save the Bay. And it's just been an incredible experience over the last few years, and I just couldn't let the night go by without saying that.
Here, here.
okay. back on the script. And with that, I'm going to say the 52nd annual meeting of Save the Bay is officially adjourned. You can join us out in the lobby, and we will commence with Taste of the Bay. We would ask that the award winners stick around so we can take a couple of photographs. The photographs we take